Prepare for trouble!
Make it double!
Hello everybody and welcome, I am Bricker Boom, and our channel has officially been taken over by Team Rocket. What does this mean? Well, we're going to be seeing if we can beat the game with only a Coughing / Weezing and Ekans / Arbok. I had considered adding a Meowth to it, but if we remember the anime, Meowth wasn't much of a fighter. While Persian has a fairly massive moveset, its stats are pretty subpar, so it's not like we're going to be missing out on too much. Now, to add to the very few rules that we have in place, we can't use items in battle, and last but not least, we can catch other Pokemon to assist with HM use, they just cannot be used in battle. Overall, Coughing and Weezing both have a pretty decent moveset and a wide access of moves. Unfortunately, he doesn't have much of a special attack or defense, but his regular attack and regular defense are actually pretty good. Weezing is a tanky Pokemon. Then we look at Ekans and Arbok, and Shedskin is... it's pretty alright given the status moves that plague each game, but Intimidate is the best in my opinion. There's less of a move variety, but we do have some pretty strong ones at our disposal. Unfortunately, Arbok is the weaker of the two that are available in pretty much every way, so using the Universal Pokemon Randomizer, we actually start the run with Coughing. Ekans can be found right outside Cerulean City, and from what I remember, Coughing can't be found until near the endgame in the Burnt Mansion. If it can be found sooner, let me know in the comments. But with our Coughing, we go ahead and do the first rival fight, and I have to admit, I'm looking forward to not having to worry about poison for once, especially after the last few runs. We give the rival Charmander, though in hindsight, giving him Venusaur probably would have been the hardest for us to face. Coughing has Levitate, so we don't have to worry about ground moves. Looking at you, Giovanni. We have a Gentle Nature, which raises special defense, but lowers our regular defense, which is pretty alright, given the fact that our defense is our best stat anyway, so it may help even things out. We start off with Poison Gas and Tackle, and we immediately poison Charmander. From there, it's a pretty long slog back and forth until we're able to finally take Charmander down with 6 HP to spare. The poison was probably needed to win that battle, but we pulled off a victory, and that's honestly all that matters. From there, we do the beginning game stuff, then head to the forest, knowing that we would get decimated if we went against the rival immediately. Now this is where being a poison type comes into play, and we can fight the bug catchers and not have to worry about being poisoned. This actually allows us to move through the forest with relative ease. After that, we can double back and try the optional rival fight. Pidgey is first, and we open with Poison Gas and poison it before switching to Tackle. Pidgey does tackle us a few times, but we win the exchange and take it out. Last is Charmander, and use Poison Gas as he scratches us. An unlucky crit does hit us hard, but we still manage to pull off a victory with only 2 HP to spare. When we go to fight Brock, we're level 12, and open up with Poison Gas to poison Geodude immediately before switching to Tackle as it begins defense curling. The poison whittles him down as we use Smog to test damage. We're barely doing anything with our attacks, but at least we're getting in some decent damage with the poison. Ideally, getting a couple crits would be nice to bypass the defense boosts, but that doesn't seem to be in the stars for us. The good news is Geodude is so focused on defense curling that we don't get attacked until the very last turn before it gets taken out by the poison damage. Next up is Onix, and we both miss our attack, and we miss another Poison Gas before we do connect with it. We start tackling, just basically trying to keep the same method up as the poison damage chips away, but ultimately it does hit us with Rock Tomb and we go down. At the end of the day, we do have to level up some, because it's rough. We can't survive hits from Onix, especially if Geodude even remotely tries to go on the offensive. So we basically keep trying. We get to level 18, and we manage to poison both the Geodude and the Onix right off the bat. Even with that luck, we still end up getting knocked down to 8 HP before finally managing to take it out. And naturally, because I do have self-destruct now, I did end up doing a mock fight just to see if it would take out the Geodude in one shot, and it does! As we make it through Cerulean City, for the first time ever, I actually hunt down a specific Ekans to use. Like I said, Shed Skin is an okay ability, but Intimidate is pretty important because you have hard hitters like Onyx and Bruno that I feel at the very least we can whittle down their attack and maybe survive a few extra hits. After that, we go to Misty. Misty first sends out Staryu, and we begin with Ekans, and we open up with Bite as it hardens. It hits pretty well with Water Pulse, and we swap to Poison Sting, and we do manage to poison it. Water Pulse is tearing us down pretty quickly, especially after Misty heals up, and we do go down before taking it down with Coughing Sludge, but we do take a bit of damage beforehand. This means as Starmie comes out, it hits us hard into the red, and then takes us out next turn with Swift. So we do try a couple more times, and the results are almost identical, so we go ahead and bypass this fight for now, and go to fight the rival on the bridge. The rival starts off with Pidgeotto, and we start with Ekans and open with Bite to flinch. It does take a few turns of biting, and Gust is chipping away at our health. Good news is it goes down, and Abra is a freebie, so we don't have to worry about it too much. Rattata opens up with a quick attack, we take it to half with Bite, then knock it out next turn. Last is Charmander, and we open up with Poison Sting, then swap to Bite as Ember takes us to 1 HP, then knocks us out with Metal Claw. We swap to Coughing as Ember does a decent chunk before Sludge takes it out for the victory. Along the way back to Misty, our Ekans does end up evolving to Arbok, and while Arbok isn't the best Pokemon, it's still a considerable upgrade. We also make sure to grab Dig for Arbok before going back to try facing off against Misty once more. We start with Coughing this time around as Staryu hardens, and we hit it hard with Sludge and do manage to poison it. Even after Misty heals up, we hit it with Tackle once, Poison dings it, and then we take it down the next turn. Starmie is out, and we immediately crit to 0 with Water Pulse. With Arbok, we dig as Water Pulse connects, but thankfully doesn't confuse. Swapping to Glare, we paralyze it as Water Pulse takes us below half. Then we Bite, get a crit, and take it out to win the second badge. 2 badges down, and our team is complete, and it's time to go ahead and move on to the ship. I know that I had said it once, but I truly did consider grabbing Meowth even after the run had started, but this seemed more appropriate and a bit more difficult. At the end of the day, I do enjoy these challenges and I do want them to be fun, but part of the fun is overcoming difficult odds, and the more team members you have, the more cannon fodder you have as well, so it's hard to find that balance. I will probably do a Meowth run, even knowing that I will get rolled 1,000 times. But anyway, with the rival on the ship, he starts with Pidgeotto, and we start with Coughing. We open up with Sludge, as Quick Attack does very little, and then we take it down. As Kadabra comes out, it misses Disable, and we knock it out with Sludge. Raticate hits us with Super Fang, we take it to red with Sludge, poison it, and the poison takes it out. Last up is Charmeleon, and we get hit with Smokescreen, but we nail it with Sludge and poison it. Charmeleon uses Ember and burns us before we take it down to win the battle. In no time at all, it's time to face Surge as he opens up with Voltorb. Shockwave hits us for a decent bit, and we take it to red with Sludge. Surge heals up, and we get hit to 28 due to Sonic Boom before we can knock it out with another Sludge. Pikachu is up next, and we use Sludge again to take it out in a single shot. With Raichu, he only uses Thunder Wave, and knowing we're not constrained by the death of a Nuzlocke, we smile and hit that self-destruct button, leaving nothing but a pile of smoldering ash where the gym used to be. After that, we fumble around in the Dark Cave and head off to fight Giovanni for the first of many times. Giovanni first sends out Onyx, and we send out Coughing. Onyx misses, and we do pitiful damage with Sludge, but we do poison it with Poison Gas. After that, it hardens, and we continue with Sludge, getting a critical hit. Then we swap to Arbok, who can use Dig, as it continues to get chipped away by Poison, allowing us to take it to red, as it uses Rage, arguably the worst move, and then the Poison takes it out. Next is Rhyhorn, and we Dig as it misses a Tail Whip. Dig takes it to about half as it uses Fury Attack and misses again. We continue to Dig, knowing it's basically keeping us alive, and take it out next turn with a critical hit. Last is Kangaskhan, and we swap back to Coughing and use Poison Gas as it uses Bite. Kangaskhan uses Tail Whip, and we take it below half with a critical hit Sludge. Mega Punch misses, and we nail it with Sludge to bring it to red, and Poison takes it out. From there, we can go ahead and head back to the tower and try our hand at the rival. Ultimately, I decided not to try to go against Erica just yet, due to most of our moves being poison-based, and that meaning that she directly resists us. it didn't make sense to try taking on the gym now. So with the rival, he sends out Pidgeotto and we send out Coughing, who takes it below half with Sludge and we get sand in our eyes. Thankfully the next Sludge can still connect to take it out. With Execute, we swap to Arbok, mostly to get rid of the accuracy drop and take it to low red with one bite. Hypnosis puts us to sleep, and we stay asleep for 2 turns and get taken below half before managing to knock it out. Kadabra's next, and we can take it out with 1 bite. As Gyarados comes out, we swap to Coughing and nail it hard with Sludge to take it to red. Gyarados uses Thrash, and we can take it out with the next hit. Last is Charmeleon, who hits a soft Ember, and we hit it with Sludge. Ember does end up knocking us out, and we send out our wounded Arbok. We thankfully, though, outspeed, use Bite, and take Charmeleon down to win the battle. Now that we're hitting a small part of travel and some rocket nonsense, I wanted to say, Coughing is performing far better than I thought it would. I've used both of them on my hardcore Nuzlocke team, but Coughing especially wasn't gathered until near the end of the run. If you're extra curious, you can watch that full Nuzlocke here on the channel. Arbok is alright, but for the most part, it's ultimately there just because it has some coverage moves and the intimidation drop. Along the way, Coughing utters one final cry of "hit that subscribe button!" before evolving into the 2-headed being that it was destined to be. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and make our way back to attempt the battle with Erica. We open up with Bite to take a quarter of Victorbell's health and make it flinch. We swap to Dig as Stun Spore misses, and take it to half as it does end up paralyzing us, so we return the favor with Glare. We use Poison Sting and Bite as Erica heals up. Thankfully, it spends a ridiculous amount of turns paralyzed, so we can take it out without much punishment. Tangela sets up Ingrain, and we take it to red with Bite. From there, we spend a few turns paralyzed before taking it down. Last up is Vileplume, and we get hit with a Giga Drain, but we do land a Glare to paralyze it before Erica uses a full heal. Neat. We use Bite, then get hit with Acid before missing Glare. Giga Drain then takes us out. We still have Weezing waiting in the wings, and we begin using Sludge and take it well below half as we get paralyzed. Acid isn't doing much, but we do take it out without much of a problem, and that means 4 badges down. After that, it's some travel down Cycling Road, a jaunt through the Safari Zone, and then it's time to see who the true Poison Master is. Koga sends out Coughing first, and we send out Arbok. Now, Coughing does have Levitate, so Dig is basically useless, but Bite does decent damage. And then it self-destructs, but it doesn't take us out. We Bite Muck for pitiful damage, then swap to Dig as it hits us to 19 with Sludge, then knocks us out after our next Dig. Muck gets healed, and we're essentially fighting a losing battle with Sludge, but ultimately, due to the minimizes that Muck did, we lose that exchange, partly because we're missing too much. After trying a few more times, it's pretty apparent that we're not going to win at this level. However, rather than just try to level up and brute force our way through, we're still going to do that, but we're going to do it by heading to Sylph Tower and begin moving our way through the trainers there. While we're here, though we're somewhat under-leveled, I want to see how we do against the rival before fighting the trainers. The rival first sends out Pidgeot, and we open up with Arbok. We use Bite for very little damage, but make it flinch, and then Bite again as Wing Attack hits us. We keep biting despite the Feather Dance, but a nice crit helps bring it down to red before we take it out. With the eggs, we take it to half, but get put to sleep and taken down. Weezing knocks it out with a Sludge. With Alakazam, it only sets up Future Sight before Sludge takes it down. As Gyarados comes out, we manage to poison it, but we do take the Future Sight attack for a good chunk of damage. Sludge takes down Gyarados, and we have 52 HP, which immediately gets taken away from a single Flamethrower by Charizard. So after that, we take out the remaining trainers through Silphco, and we make our way back to Koga. While we made it pretty far with the rival fight, I think we can turn it around a little bit easier if we have the badge boost from Koga. Koga sends out Coughing, and we use Bite to take it to almost half. Sludge is barely hitting us, and we take it to red. We immediately Dig, forgetting that Koga will heal up, but in no time at all, we have it back at red. This time when we Dig, it pays off, and we avoid a self-destruct and hit Muck upon its arrival to take it to red as it uses Acid Armor. It does heal up, but we nail a critical hit Dig to take it down. We flinch another Coughing and take it to red and predict another self-destruct. as we pop up when Weezing is out. Now, unfortunately, Weezing also has Levitate, but we do end up paralyzing the Weezing. Bakoga heals it, and we spend the rest of our time alive trying to paralyze it. Unfortunately, we lose this exchange. From there, it's a back-and-forth slugfest between Weezings that we ultimately win, and move on from there. Without wanting to waste time against the rival that ultimately may not go anywhere, we make the call to go to Cinnabar instead. I don't do this often, but it is nice to have the option. Growlithe is first, and we use Dig, causing Fire Blast to miss. A critical hit takes it down in one hit. Next up is Ponyta, and we use Dig again as it also misses Fire Blast. We pop up and take it to half as it lands a hard Fire Blast. We continue the Dig strat, and Fire Blast misses before we take it down. Rapidash is next, and we have no reason to change plans now as we Dig. When we hit, it doesn't quite do half, and unfortunately Fire Blast takes us all the way down to 5 HP. We bite, Fire Blast misses, and we Dig again to land a critical hit and take it down. With Arcanine, we Dig down, but do very little. But it wastes a Fire Blast, but then Bite takes us down. Weezing gets taken all the way down to 19 HP with a single Fire Blast as we take the yellow, poison it, and Blaine heals up. Unfortunately, that allows Arcanine to use Takedown, and that also takes us down. With that, we did level up on the trainers and try again, but it's not much of a difference, if any at all. So we head back to Sylph after grabbing a couple quick upgrades. Butch, the rival, not sure if you paid attention beforehand, sends out Pidgeot first, and we open with Arbok and use Acid, trading blows until we take it out. When Execute comes out, we bite it, it misses Stun Spore, and we take it out next turn. Alakazam goes to half, uses Future Sight, then goes down. Gyarados we use Acid on and take the Future Sight attack before going down. We swap to Weezing and use Sludge and take it out, and now Charizard is last. We hit it hard to take it to red as it smoke screens us, and Flamethrower takes us all the way down to 29 HP, but thankfully Return still lands, and that knocks it out. Now that did take 4 attempts, but we did it. Giovanni time. Giovanni starts with Nidorino, and we open up with Arbok. We use Bite to take a quarter health, then Dig underground and knock it out. We glare the Kangaskhan to paralyze it as it uses Rage. We then begin biting it and using Acid to wear it down, and it wastes a lot of turns between Paralysis and Tail Whip. Then when Rhyhorn comes out, we use Dig again. A bite makes it flinch, then another takes it down. Nidoqueen is last, and it uses Tail Whip as we Dig to yellow, as it takes us down with Body Slam. We swap to Weezing and use Sludge, and it does very little as it uses Tail Whip, then we take it down with Return to win the battle. After that, we could try our hand at fighting Sabrina, who could be brutal given our typing, but let's see what happens. Sabrina sends out Kadabra, we send out Arbok, and Bite takes it below half and another knocks it out. Mr. Mime flinches twice from 2 separate bites, heals up, and then we take it out next turn. Alakazam is out and immediately wrecks us. We have to swap to Weezing, who also gets outsped and immediately goes down. Yeah, that sounds about right. Sadly, we don't have many options, so for the first time in a while, we just go ahead and have to level up, and we level up to 50 before trying again. Now, Kadabra's up first, so we use Bite to take it out in one shot. Mr. Mime goes below half and uses Calm Mind, then goes to red, hits us with Psybeam, and heals up. However, we land a crit with our next Bite and take it out. Alakazam doesn't outspeed us anymore, so it flinches with the first bite, and we do end up taking it out. Venomoth uses Psybeam, but we're able to deal a few attacks before going down, swapping to Weezing and immediately taking it down. I was hoping to not have to level up, but we tried Blaine at our current level as well after losing to Sabrina, and it was the same result, so let's see how we do now. Growlithe is up, and we use Bite as it misses Fire Blast, then we Dig and take it out. Ponyta's out, and we use Bite as it also misses Fire Blast, so we Dig and then take it out as well. We bite Rapidash and flinch it twice, then Dig and manage to take it out as well. Arcanine is last, and we use Glare as it stays paralyzed and gets full healed, then we Glare it again. We bite it, then Dig it to yellow before biting it to red. Blaine heals up, and Arcanine spends some ridiculous amounts of time being paralyzed before finally breaking through one and taking down Arbok, but then we can just switch to Weezing and take it out with one hit. Last gym leader up to the plate is Giovanni, and we go ahead and let Arbok learn Giga Drain, finally replacing Glare. The coverage and moves can be helpful, giving Giovanni's specialty. He opens up with a Rhydon, and we use Giga Drain to take it out in one shot. Dugtrio is next, and quite the speedster, but we still manage to outspeed it, take it to red as it earthquakes us to yellow. Giovanni heals up, and we get favorable damage roll with the Giga Drain this time and take it down. Nidoqueen is next as we continue with the Giga Drain to at least test damage, and a crit takes it to almost half as it earthquakes us. We use Bite, and it uses Earthquake again to take us down as we swap to Weezing. We use Return to take out Nidoqueen, and it's time for Nidoking, and we use Return to take it to half as another takes it out. With Rhyhorn, it's a bit of a struggle because we have no super effective moves. However, we manage to poison it after a few attempts, and we do manage to take it down, only due to the fact that Takedown missed at the end of the battle because we only had 16 HP left. With the rival before the Elite Four, he sends out Pidgeot, and we open up with a Bite from Arbok. Acid does a bit more, so we swap to that and trade attacks until it goes down. When Alakazam is out, we Bite it and take it down to half, flinch it, then take it out next turn. Rhyhorn is easy to one-shot with Giga Drain and heals us back up to full in the process. Gyarados is next, and we start using Acid to lower its defense as it uses Leer and Rain Dance, then miss Hydro Pump twice, so Bite takes it out. With Charizard, we test damage with Acid, Bite, and even Mega Drain, but it does slash us down. We swap to Weezing, sludge it to yellow as it flamethrowers us to 33 HP before going down. Last is Execute, and we can sludge it for one hit to take it down as well. Now that we're in the last leg of the game, I want to say thank you for watching. These have been a ton of fun to make, and it's been great typically using Pokemon that I typically wouldn't. Though, now that I've played with both an Arbok and Weezing, I can see why Jessie and James lost so often. Weezing is pretty good, especially given how tanky it is, but Arbok goes down so quick. We have some extra moves that we can learn and will learn, but that's going to come back into play. But oh look! We managed to avoid the multiple losses against Lorelei. Neat. At level 62, Lorelei starts off with Dugong, and we can use Bite and Giga Drain as it sets up Hail. We then dig to take it out. When Cloyster is out, we Bite it as it sets up Spikes. We swap to Acid, knowing it'll use Protect, and then we can switch to Giga Drain to take it out. Slowbro, we can Bite it once to flinch it, Bite it again as it yawns, then another Bite takes it down. After that, we swap to Weezing to avoid Sleep, as she switches to Lapras and sludge it to poison it. We can take it to yellow when the berry heals up, but the poison takes it back down to yellow. Thankfully, the Lapras isn't healed up, and we can take it out next turn, leaving us with only Jinx. With Jinx, we use Return to take it out in one shot and be able to move on to Bruno. Bruno starts with Onix, and we use Giga Drain to take it out in one clean hit. The next Onix is out and meets with the same fate as the first. From there, Hitmonchan is up, and we use Acid to deal a small chunk of damage as it uses Rock Tomb, then Counter. We dig away to escape our problems, and take it to red before Bruno heals up. We start using Acid again, but ultimately Counter does take us out. We swap to Weezing and use Sludge to finish it off. Hitmonlee is next, and we use Sludge again to take it to yellow, as Mega Kick does some damage before we take it down. Last but not least is the Horrifying Machamp that we begin sludging. Cross Chop, while Horrifying, usually doesn't do much because of our typing, and we do poison it. It misses Cross Chop, we take it to red, and then the poison takes it out to win the battle. Now, here is where I goof up because I realize I didn't bring my full needed moveset with me, so what you're going to see is a little bit of level difference between when I left Bruno and when I fight Agatha, because I go ahead and pick an updated moveset. I replace Dig with Earthquake, and I replace Poison Gas with Thunderbolt. With Agatha, we bite the Gengar as it double teams, and we take it down with another. Haunter goes down to a critical hit Bite. Next is the other Gengar, and we get hit with Hypnosis. Thankfully, we wake up the next turn and bite it hard. We get put to sleep again as Shadow Ball whittles us down, and we bite it to red as the berry heals it up. It hits us with one last Shadow Ball before going down. As Golbat comes out, we get hit with Air Cutter, we bite it, and it hits us with Poison Fang as we go down. Swapping to Weezing, we use Thunderbolt to finish it off, and then it's time for Arbok. We use Sludge and it doesn't do much, so we swap to Thunderbolt, it misses Iron Tail, we take it to Red and it heals up. We repeat the pattern of some missed Iron Tails and using Thunderbolt to take it down and move on. Lance is last and we send out Weezing, who uses Thunderbolt for Gyarados to take it out in one shot. Aerodactyl's next and we use another Thunderbolt to take it to yellow, then another to take it out. With Dragonite, we use Thunderbolt and get taken to 2 HP with Outrage, before swapping to Explosion to take it out entirely. We then swap to Arbok and use Earthquake on Dragonair to take it to half as it uses Outrage, and then we take it out. The next Dragonair also goes to half, uses Thunder Wave, then Safeguard, allowing another Earthquake to take it out. With the final rival, we take Pidgeot down to below half with Thunderbolt as Aerial Ace crits us. Another one hits us before we take it out with another Thunderbolt. We swap to Arbok with Alakazam and get outsped and taken down without much of a second thought. It does use Future Sight for some reason to let Weezing take it out, but when Exeggutor comes out, it puts us to sleep and egg bombs us to death. So we go through a long line of attempts, but unfortunately, until we can outspeed the Alakazam, we repeatedly get destroyed. When we get to level 75, we try again, and by now we're taking Pidgeot down to Red with a single attack, making it waste a full restore. We do use a Soft Sludge and take it out next turn. As Alakazam comes out, we swap to Arbok and now outspeed to bite it to half. Psychic still hits like a Mack truck, but we can now take it out with some HP to spare. With the Exeggutor, it actually flinches to bite, so we can take it out next turn. Then it's Rhydon, who we swapped a Giga Drain for, taking it out in one shot and getting healed almost to full. Then it's Gyarados, and we use Thunderbolt to take it out in one shot, leaving us with Charizard. Charizard uses Fire Blast and takes us to 69 HP. Nice. And we use Thunderbolt, landing a critical hit before taking it out to win the challenge. Honestly, this challenge was a lot of fun. I do plan on moving through the different games using these quote-unquote Team Rocket builds. So for example, we'd have a Mightyena and Golbat, and maybe a few more, since that's what's primarily used in Emerald. If I can round up enough Pokemon with the different leaders, grunts, and so on, I may also look into some sort of Nuzlocke with it eventually, but I first want to test it out with just a team of these Mons. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the run, and as always, if you haven't yet, follow me on Twitch, and if you want to see a specific run, leave a comment or even join the Discord. Eventually, I'll be moving on to later gens like 7, 8, and 9, but that's another story for another day. So, as always, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button because it does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.